and welcome aboard to the 2013 Kids Choice Awards predictions. And once again, I am your host, Patricia, and here we are with Kevin. Hi, Kevin. And right now, we're just going to be reading off the nominations for the 2013 Kids Choice Awards. And we're going to be reading off the nominations and who we predict is going to win and who just feel is going to win. So, are you ready, Kev?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so let's start off with favorite TV show. And the nominees are Good Luck Charlie, iCarly, Victorious, Wizards of Waverly Place. So, who do you think is going to win for the Kids' Choice Awards? Now, it's interesting to note that 2 of the shows are from Nickelodeon and 2 of the shows are from Disney Channel. And 2 of the Nickelodeon shows happen to be no longer airing. iCarly had ended off in October, and Victorious was canceled around a few weeks later. So, it's interesting on who would be the nominations. The Disney Channel shows of Good Luck Charlie and Wizards of Waverly Place are still going. So, who do you think is going to win? Which show do you think is going to win for favorite TV show?
Probably iCarly.
iCarly, and why do you think so?
The show's over, so it's probably gonna, they're probably gonna give it an award or something for winning and stuff,
Yeah, that's a really good point. iCarly did end. It ended in a really triumphant note, according to how I saw the episode. Goodbye. And yeah, at least with iCarly, it did end in a good note, while Victorious was just canceled. And yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you that iCarly is going to win for the favorite TV show.
Okay.
Now, out of all these shows, which show do you think deserves to win? Do you think one of them or none of them?
Well, I really don't know any of them, so I can't tell.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, in my opinion, I don't really think any of them should have been nominated. If you're going to go up and beyond with shows from Nickelodeon, I think that Good Luck Charlie and Wizards of Waverly Place don't really belong. They should have at least focused on exclusively with Nickelodeon shows, but of course we're going to get to that when we definitely go on with the other nominations. The other shows, in my opinion, I felt that should have been nominated was House of Anubis. That should have been also nominated. And another show that should have probably been nominated is probably, I would say maybe Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Yeah, I feel that, Power Rangers Ninja Storm is already over. They have a new Power Rangers show going on right now. And in my opinion, I think with House of Anubis, it's really getting good as the series has been progressing. The characters are developing quite nicely, and there's a really nice mystery going on. So I think that should have been nominated.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into the next nomination, which is favorite reality show, and the nominees are America's Got Talent, The Voice, American Idol, and Wipeout. Okay, let me just tell you a definition of a reality show. All these shows right here, these are competition shows, and one of them is a game show. So, a reality show is mostly focusing on the reality aspects of a person going through something, like everyday life, like, as bad as it is, the show with the Kardashians is a reality show. Honey Boo Boo is a reality show. Those are definitions of reality shows, and the nominations of what we see, they're not really, reality shows. But in my opinion, I think maybe either American Idol or America's Got Talent would win, and I think out of all of them, I think maybe America's Got Talent's gonna win. The reason why I think America's Got Talent's gonna win is because I think maybe the second one would have been The Voice, but, I don't think kids would watch The Voice enough. American Idol has been way off its course, in my opinion, ever since they started rechanging the hosts. Now they have Nicki Minaj in there, and it's just, to tell you, maybe they'll probably vote for that because of Nicki Minaj, but still, I think maybe America's Got Talent has a little bit of diversity and a tiny bit of talent. The reality show that to tell you the truth, the reality show that I feel should have won, none of them, because let's be honest, there are not exactly a lot of reality shows that I even like anymore. A lot of them are really stupid, to tell you the truth. And which reality show do you think is going to be winning the award, Kevin?
Probably American Got Talent.
And why do you think that?
I really don't. I really hate reality shows, so I really wouldn't go per se. You know.
Yeah, definitely. So, the both of us, we say that America's Got Talent is going to win, but as for what we feel, reality show should just, really get off on TV. Alright, so the next one is Favorite Cartoon, and the nominees are SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, Phineas and Ferb, and Tom and Jerry. And, once again... Huh?
SpongeBob SquarePants is going to win. SpongeBob SquarePants is probably going to win.
Yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants is definitely going to win in this one because SpongeBob has been winning for maybe 8 or 9 years in a row. I don't remember in which any other show has been winning so much since, ever since it got on the air. So definitely it's going to win. And to tell you the truth, SpongeBob and the Fairly Odd Parents are the only two shows nominated that are from Nickelodeon, and neither of them shouldn't have been in the nominations. Maybe SpongeBob, maybe, but I felt that the show that should have won for favorite cartoon, in my opinion, is the new Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, me too. I definitely wish that was nominated.
I wish that the Ninja Turtles cartoon should have been nominated because when it came out, it was a gigantic hit, and it's still a gigantic hit. The shows have been hugely popular by both kids and people who grew up with it. The toys are selling off the shelves. It's actually one of the best cartoons that is currently airing on Nickelodeon.
Yep.
And another show that should have been nominated was The Legend of Korra. The Legend of Korra came out in April. It brought in a whole bunch of audiences back. Kids who grew up with Avatar: The Last Airbender are now teenagers, and kids are reintroducing themselves to Korra. There are a few flaws to the show, but the flaws, can be brushed aside with everything that was so great about it. The characters, they're really decent. The animation is wonderful. The setting is fresh, and it's amazing. And I felt that it should have been nominated. But... yeah, SpongeBob is going to win, but we think that the Ninja Turtles should have been in there.
Right?
Exactly. So, yeah. So let's move on to favorite TV actor. The nominations are Jake T. Austin from Wizards in Waverly Place, Lucas Cruikshank from Marvin, Ross Lynch from Austin and Ally, and Carlos Pena from Big Time Rush. I'm just going to go off and say it, but I think that Lucas Cruikshank is going to win for this one.
Why do that?
Well, the reason why is because Lucas Cruikshank has already been involved in 2 Nickelodeon shows. He's been involved in Fred, and he's been involved in Marvin. And once again, 2 out of the 4 nominations are not from Nickelodeon. 2 of the 4 nominations are from the Disney Channel. And... it would be really sad if we were to see a Disney Channel show or actor or actress or whatever be nominated for an award show that has the name Nickelodeon in it. Come on, Nickelodeon, you have more than 2 shows to be nominated for. You should at least give them a chance. If the Disney Channel wanted to have their shows nominated, then they should have their own award ceremony, don't you think?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that Lucas Cruikshank is going to win. Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, Lucas Cruikshank is going to probably win.
And why do you think that?
He's probably talking all this stuff. He's definitely going to win.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, in our opinion, the favorite TV actor is definitely going to be Lucas Cruikshank from Marvin and The Fred Show. Okay, now we get into favorite TV actress, and we have Miranda Cosgrove from iCarly. We have Selena Gomez. We have Victoria Jackson from Victorious, and we have Bridget Mendler from Good Luck Charlie. With everything that's been going on, it's gonna be either Miranda Cosgrove or Victoria Jackson. But I think the person who's gonna win is probably gonna be Victoria Jackson.
Why do you say that?
Well, the reason why is because even though that we think that iCarly is going to win for favorite TV show, Victoria Jackson is becoming like the it girl right now. She has a movie that has been out on called Fun Size, and she's pretty much like the poster female chick for Nickelodeon shows. the popularity of Victorious, it was skyrocketed. There were a lot of complaints on Twitter that they were upset that Victorious was canceled, and the reason why was because they think that Victoria Jackson was such a great actress. So I feel that they're going to give it to Victoria Jackson.
I went as far as she was a very good-looking actress.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, she was. She's a pretty good-looking actress. But then again, all the preteens and teenagers from the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, they're all good-looking. I don't think that there's anyone that is bad-looking, and if they are bad-looking, they're just the dork characters or just the side characters. That's a good way to show to kids. If you want to have your own TV show, you better be good-looking. But if you're not, you're just going to be cast off as the nerd or the side character.
Yeah.
So, who do you think is going to win for favorite TV actress?
Oh, I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Well, out of popularity, who do you think who do you think is definitely going to win due to popularity for the kids?
Probably Victoria Jackson.
Victoria Jackson? Yeah, I think so too. So, so we think that for favorite TV actress is going to be Victoria Jackson from Victorious. All right, now we're going to get into male athlete, and the nominations for male athlete are LeBron James, Michael Phelps, Tim Tebow, and Shaun White. Now, I'm hoping that Michael Phelps would be the winner for this one, but I think that they're going to choose Shaun White or LeBron James. Maybe Shaun White. Shaun White is the youngest out of all of them, and he is more cool, and he's hip, and he's trendy for the younger crowd. He's hugely popular when it comes to snowboarding, and he's hugely popular when it comes to skateboarding. So I think that Shaun White is going to win, but I think it deserves to be Michael Phelps. I mean, come on. He is a world record Olympic swimmer. Come on, give the guy some respect.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
So who do you think is going to win?
Michael Phelps, probably. Definitely.
Michael Phelps? Oh, you actually think Michael Phelps is going to win. And why is that?
I just got that feeling he's going to win.
Well, let's just cross our fingers. So, with male athlete, I think it's going to be Shaun White. Kevin's going to think it's Michael Phelps. But we both feel that Michael Phelps should win. Now let's get into female athlete. And the nominations are Gabby Douglas, Danica Patrick, and Serena and Venus Williams. Now, obviously, Serena and Venus Williams, they've been hugely popular throughout the years in Kids Choice Awards and when it comes to female tennis. But I think that Gabby Douglas should win. I know that Danica Patrick, she's been making a lot of good records, and she's been getting a lot of good publicity when it comes to her racing. But then again, do kids nowadays even watch NASCAR?
No.
No, I doubt it. So I think that I think it's gonna be either the Williams sisters who's gonna win, and maybe Serena. But I feel Gabby Douglas is going to win because, her and, as well as the other gymnasts from the Olympics, they did a fantastic job representing our country. So, and not to mention that, she was in the Wheaties box. I mean, come on. Kids should be able to know that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, who do you think is going to win? Danica Patrick. Oh, wow. The next category is favorite book series, and the nominations are the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, the Harry Potter series, the Hunger Games series, and the Magic Treehouse series. Wow, I gotta say I haven't heard of the Magic Treehouse series in years. I remember that when I was a kid, I would read off a couple of the books for the Magic Treehouse series, but I didn't even know that they were still going on with that.
Yeah, where they just redid them?
Apparently that they have new books out for the Magic Treehouse series. So, what do you know? But I think that the book series that's going to win is the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series.
Why do you say that?
Well, not to mention that the movies are still popular, and, those are the books that kids are reading to nowadays. In fact, out of all these books, besides the Magic Treehouse series, it's the one that most kids will most likely read. The Harry Potter series, even though that's, still a great book series, I don't think kids are reading them as much anymore, and I don't think, it probably won't be as nominated, but It'll probably be between the Wimpy Kids series or the Hunger Games series, but to tell you the truth, I'm surprised that's even nominated. The Hunger Games series is very violent, and it's very more for teenagers than opposed to like kids and preteens. A lot of killing, and it has a lot of things about class and how you rank above all the others in the post-apocalyptic world. And yeah, I just don't see kids watching it, especially with the movie. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. So, which as for book series that should have been nominated or I think should win, I'm still gonna say that I'm hoping for the Harry Potter series to win. But then again, when it comes to book series for kids, there hasn't been a huge phenomenon that has been popping up lately. So I think that the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series is going to win, but I feel that hopefully maybe Harry Potter will win again. Even though that there hasn't been a new book in years and all the movies are over, I still think it's relevant today.
Really?
Well, the thing of it is that when you're talking about fantasy, especially fantasy that has been presented right, the Harry Potter series is very well done. It's like the next generation Lord of the Rings or the Narnia series. It just has that timeless feel that people are going to be reading years later, and they're going to show their kids the books as well as the movies.
Okay.
And which books do you think is going to win for the Kids Choice Awards?
Definitely the Harry Potter book series because it's Harry Potter and Harry Potter's super popular. So
yeah, I think so too. So we hope that Harry Potter will win. Kevin thinks that it's going to win, but I think the Diary of a Wimpy Kid's going to win. All right, now we get into favorite movie, and the nominees are The Amazing Spider-Man, The Avengers, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days, and The Hunger Games.
Oh, The Avengers.
Yes, I think The Avengers will definitely win. A lot of people have said that The Avengers has been like one of their favorite movies of this year, and for a kid, I think so too. I'm hoping that it'll definitely win. And out of all the nominations, The Amazing Spider-Man, I've seen it twice in theaters, and it's cool now. It's trendy now. There are some good things about it, but it doesn't compare to the Raimi movies.
Yeah.
The reason why is because I know that, if you've read the original comics of Spider-Man, it's supposed to be like sort of like a camp factor to it, like the original comics. And then as time goes on, it starts becoming serious, and then you start having like the major villains such as Doc Ock and Venom. Even though Spider-Man 3's Venom was terrible, you have like the great characters. The Green Goblin was fantastic, and so was Sandman, and so was Doc Ock, and the Doc Ock was my favorite. And the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man was it was lost potential. There could have been so much to the Lizard because Kirk Connors was introduced in the original Spider-Man trilogy, but he was never turned into the Lizard. And I was really excited about the Lizard turning it being in Amazing Spider-Man, but he is such a boring character.
Yeah, he does.
With the new Spider-Man by Andrew Garfield, he's trying to be like a cool modern Peter Parker, which would reflect to today's kids, but they've forgotten that Peter Parker is supposed to be like a very nerdy kid. Even though that I like Andrew Garfield's interpretation of Spider-Man slightly better, because Tobey Maguire, he did a pretty good job, but there's just some things about it that I didn't really like about very much. But the movie is liked now because it's Spider-Man, it's really cool, but I think Avengers will definitely win.
Yeah, Avengers win.
Yeah, and as for Dog Days and The Hunger Games, like I said, The Hunger Games should not be viewed by kids. It is violent, it is bloody, it is gory, and it's about survival. Something like that for kids would not be appropriate. The Avengers, yeah, that's great, because it's about superheroes. It makes sense. But, yeah, and as for Wimpy Kid Dog Days, I don't know. I kind of like, how they're trying to go into the direction of introducing, like, this everyday kid, but just something about it is, it's meh to me. But, yeah, I'm hoping that the Avengers will win, and we're definitely going to say that the Avengers will win for Best Movie.
Yeah,
Now,
I hope so.
yeah. Now we're going to talk about animated movie. The nominees are Brave, Ice Age Continental Drift, Madagascar 3, and Wreck-It Ralph. So which movie do you think is going to win?
Wreck-It Ralph, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that Wreck-It Ralph would win. I think that maybe it'll be nominated too, but then again, there's also Madagascar 3, which is the best movie out of the trilogy, and then there's Brave, which will probably appeal to the with the female demographic. As I said in Something Cinematic with Tim Deanna of the review of Brave, it's a good movie, but Pixar, when you think about Pixar, you thought it would have been way better. The whole demographic between the mother and the daughter thing was pretty cool, but then with that whole twist thing about the mother becoming a bear, and then the characters weren't fleshed out as it should have been, and the villain had so much potential to be one of the best villains portrayed in Pixar, or maybe in Disney in general, but he was so underwhelming. And as for Ice Age Continental Drift, most people have agreed that Ice Age Continental Drift is the worst animated movie of 2012. So I have no idea how it was even nominated.
Yeah, that was good.
The movies that I felt should have been nominated was, one of them should have definitely have been Paranorman. Paranorman should have definitely been nominated for Best Animated Movie.
Yeah, yes.
Well, I know you're not really much of a fan of it, Kevin, but I've been seeing reviews of it, and I actually took a little glimpse of Paranorman, and it is very impressive. I thought that, at first it was going to be like, it was going to be okay, but man, this, from what I've seen, it blew my mind. It's something completely different. It was actually one of the most original things that came out of an animated movie this year. And another movie that should have definitely been nominated was The Pirates Band of Misfits, because it's getting back to the classic Aardman animations, which we haven't seen in a very long time. I mean, even though you had Arthur Christmas, that was more of CGI, but this is like stop motion and claymation mixed with CGI, which I miss a lot from these guys. And they did a fantastic job with it. It was beautiful when I saw it in theaters. And the story was really funny, and they're actually going to make a sequel of it, which I'm looking forward to. And yeah, it's like, it has the classic Aardman animation touch. They have subtle adult humor, they have, the humor that the kids will have to learn in order for them to get. Beautiful animation, and in my opinion, it's one of the most underrated movies of 2012. Not a lot of kids saw it, and I felt that it should have been seen. Another one, The Secret World of Arrietty was fantastic. Not exactly one of Studio Ghibli's best, or even Miyazaki's best for that matter, but then again, he co-wrote it, he didn't direct it. But yeah, it was still well done, and, it was really nice looking, it's beautiful, it's very artistic, atmospheric, it makes you feel like you're tiny, like Arrietty and her family. And, when you see the life of the borrowers, and when you get to know more about Sean and why he's so pessimistic and cynical to the world because of his disease, and, and then the way that they connect with one another, it's really well done.
Wow.
Yeah, and, let's see, as far as other animated movies go, Frankenweenie, I don't think with Frankenweenie was good, but, as we discussed with Tim Deanna and Something Cinematic, it's not Tim Burton's best.
Yeah.
Even though it was pretty good, it really wasn't groundbreaking in any means, but, it was a job well done. But, yeah, but out of the movies that should have been nominated, Paranorman should have been nominated, and The Pirates Band of Misfits should have been nominated. They should have just cut out Ice Age Continental Drift and maybe Madagascar 3. But yeah, we both think that Wreck-It Ralph is going to win, and we're hoping that.
I'll tell you to get going. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. All right. I'll catch you later. All right, well, I'll just keep going, okay? Bye. All right, well, I guess I could do the rest myself, which won't be a big deal. Alright. As for favorite video game, the nominees are Just Dance 4, Mario Kart 7, Skylanders Giants, and Wii Sports. Alright, now I'm just gonna say this flat out loud when it comes to video games. The nominations of these video games are absolutely awful. As for who I think is gonna win, probably between Just Dance 4 or Skylanders Giants, but none of them should even deserve to win. As for video games that I was hoping that would have been nominated, Kid Icarus Uprising should have been nominated because it brought back Kid Icarus after over 25 years of not being in a video game. He was brought back in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. He was a really popular character, and even though that the game was okay, there were a couple of problems with it, it was actually pretty good, and it had decent ratings, and the animation was pretty cool. The gameplay was a little bit confusing at times, but it was still a job well done, and I'm hoping that they make a sequel of it really soon. Another game that should have been nominated, in my opinion, that they didn't nominate, Pokemon Black and White 2 should have been nominated, because, you know, you have Pokemon, it's still a huge popular franchise. It's, you know, it's just as good as the Black and White series. You know, has a lot of new additions, new Pokemon, new places to go. It's pretty much the same thing, but, you know, just those little tweaks make it, you know, deserve to be nominated. Maybe, okay, well, if you're gonna have a Nintendo game, then have a newer Nintendo game, like New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS, and that game came out, and yeah, it's a Mario game, but still, it's a new Mario game. I mean, you have Wii Sports. Wii Sports came out in 2006, people. Why is it even nominated for a 2013 award ceremony? If you're gonna be doing that, then why didn't you nominate Nintendo Land? That came out on the Wii U. Yeah, really not much to say when it comes to video games for kids, but then again, you know, I haven't been a kid for a long time, but yeah, none of these games definitely should have been nominated. They should have at least have something for the Wii U or for the 3DS. But yeah, these games, you know, with the exception of Just Dance 4 and maybe Mario Kart 7, they're, you know, not really ones that I would actually vote for. Alright, now we have favorite movie actor, and we got Johnny Depp from Dark Shadows of all things, Andrew Garfield from The Amazing Spider-Man, Zachary Gordon from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and Will Smith from Men in Black 3. Now, Will Smith has actually been, you know, winning consistently when it comes to that. In fact, last year, Will Smith was the host for the Kids Choice Awards, you know, due to the fact that he was promoting Men in Black 3. So, in my opinion, I think maybe Will Smith would win it, or maybe Andrew Garfield would win it. But I think maybe Andrew Garfield will win it for Amazing Spider-Man, but the person who definitely should have deserved it, you know, to tell you the truth, you know, maybe probably, I don't know. I mean, to tell you the truth, none of them really do deserve it. There's far better actors out there. But, you know, nonetheless, I think Andrew Garfield will definitely win it, and, you know, he was a pretty decent Spider-Man, so I think that's going to be the case. Movie actress. We have Vanessa Hudgens, we have Scarlett Johansson from The Avengers, we have Jennifer Lawrence from The Hunger Games, and we have Kristen Stewart from Snow White and the Huntsman. I'm hoping that it will either be Scarlett Johansson or Jennifer Lawrence. I think maybe Jennifer Lawrence will probably win for The Hunger Games. I think maybe Jennifer Lawrence is going to win this one, but it definitely deserves to be Scarlett Johansson, because Scarlett Johansson was really, really good as Black Widow. Black Widow wasn't even introduced in the other movies that would be following up to the Avengers. I mean, you had Chris Pine and you had Captain America. You had Chris Hemsworth, and you had with Thor, and you had Robert Downey Jr., and you had Iron Man, and then you had the Incredible Hulk, but even though it was with Mark Ruffalo, it was, the original movie was with, Edward Norton. So, with Black Widow, you know, she was a really, really good character, and I feel that she really deserves to win, but I know that the person who's going to win is Jennifer Lawrence. Now we have favorite voice from animated movie, and we have Chris Rock from Madagascar 3, Adam Sandler from Hotel Transylvania, Ben Stiller from Madagascar 3, and Taylor Swift from The Lorax. Yeah. I think out of all of them, I'm hoping to God that Taylor Swift doesn't win. It'll probably be a tie between maybe Adam Sandler or Chris Rock. The person who should have been nominated for animated movie, if it was up to me, the person who should have definitely been nominated was John C. Reilly from Wreck-It Ralph. He had a really good voice with Wreck-It Ralph. He was perfect for that role, and the way he was able to broaden out the character, being tough and at the same time very lonely and very deep. I felt that he should have been nominated. But yeah, I think the person who is going to win, I think maybe Adam Sandler is going to win for Hotel Transylvania because, Hotel Transylvania, it was funny and, he did a good job. But, I think that I'm hoping that Chris Rock will win, even though that I was hoping for more nominations from actually good movies. Like, for example, the kid who played in Paranorman, I felt that he should have been nominated, and I felt that, there should have been more nominations from movies that people actually saw that are actually pretty decent. Madagascar 3 is pretty good, and Hotel Transylvania was okay. The Lorax is awful, and I'm hoping that it does, and I'm glad that it didn't get nominated for Best Animated Movie. But yeah, I think that out of all of them, I think Adam Sandler is going to win, but I'm hoping that Chris Rock will win. Okay, so now we got favorite female butt kicker, and the nominations are Anne Hathaway from The Dark Knight Rises, Scarlett Johansson from The Avengers, Jennifer Lawrence from The Hunger Games, and Kristen Stewart from Snow White and the Huntsman. I'm thinking that maybe Jennifer Lawrence is going to win this one, but I hope that Scarlett Johansson win this one. Jennifer Lawrence, she used her bow and arrow a couple of times, but she didn't really kick as much butt compared to Scarlett Johansson. In fact, out of everyone on the list, probably, then there's also Anne Hathaway from Dark Knight Rises, but to tell you the truth, she wasn't really in the movie for very long. She wasn't exactly broadened out as she should have been. In fact, she wasn't even called Catwoman in the movie at all. Kristen Stewart, oh my god. Kristen Stewart was the worst thing about Snow White and the Huntsman. She was so bland, and she had the personality of a piece of paper. In fact, this piece of paper where I have all the notes here actually has more personality than Kristen Stewart on stage. As for female butt kicker, she should have definitely not been nominated. As for favorite female butt kicker, Jennifer Lawrence is going to win, but I think that Scarlett Johansson should win. Now we go for favorite male butt kicker. We have Robert Downey Jr. for Avengers, Andrew Garfield for Amazing Spider-Man, Chris Hemsworth for The Avengers, and Dwayne Johnson for the Center of the Earth movies, Journey to the Island. And I've seen all the movies, and to tell you the truth, I think out of all the people, Andrew Garfield is going to win for this one, but it definitely deserves for Robert Downey Jr. Chris Hemsworth as Thor, he doesn't really kick butt enough. In fact, that really awesome scene in which Thor fights with Iron Man was really cool, but then after that he gets captured by Loki. He does have like a lot of cool fight scenes, but then in the movie, with Robert Downey Jr. doing a lot of the fighting and, doing a lot of the really slick talk with Loki, and then, in the end of the movie in which he sacrifices his life for the portal to the dimension to be closed, that was really cool. With Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, however, he did have a really, he had a couple of cool fighting scenes with Lizard, but it was mostly like dodging than with fighting. And, the scene in the movie, he wasn't really fighting the Lizard. He was actually trying to stop the Lizard from turning everybody into lizards. And Dwayne Johnson is the worst out of all of them. The only thing he did in the movie was punch a lizard in the face. Yeah, a CGI lizard. And then most of the time he was just like running away, or he was mostly doing like more exploration and, strategies with his stepson. So he wasn't really doing a lot of butt kicking, to tell you the truth. So I think that Andrew Garfield is going to win, but I think that it deserves to be won by Robert Downey Jr. Okay, we're going to go into favorite villain. And we have Reed Alexander from iCarly, Simon Cowell from The X Factor, Tom Hiddleston from Avengers, and Julia Roberts from Mirror Mirror. Now, I'm hoping that Tom Hiddleston from Avengers will win because, come on, you have Loki. In fact, out of all of these, he's actually the most prominent villain. Julia Roberts from Mirror Mirror was so over the top and cheesy, it was just ridiculous. Reed Alexander from iCarly, I already talked about him briefly in my top 20 Nickelodeon shows that should be remade. He was that snively little kid who was like the rival to Carly, and I hate him so much. And Simon Cowell is not a villain, he is a judge. Let me just tell you something straightforward. Simon Cowell, he may be a tough, mean guy, and he may say a lot of things that may make a lot of people cry, but he's doing his job, people. Come on. He's doing his job, and a lot of the people who do end up singing, they are really, really bad. And everybody's just saying, oh, you did fantastic. That was a great effort. But Simon Cowell, he tells you straightforward. He says the way he feels, and come on, he's not a villain. Seriously? You have him as a villain? But yeah. The kids will definitely vote for Tom Hiddleston in Avengers, and I'm hoping that he will win. Okay, now we have favorite music group. We have Big Time Rush, Bon Jovi, Maroon 5, and One Direction. Come on, seriously, this is the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. Yeah, of course it's going to be a tie between Big Time Rush and One Direction. In fact, I think Big Time Rush is going to win. Number one, they have their own TV show on Nickelodeon. Number two, they're a big boy band that's been going on for years. One Direction just started coming out like a few months ago. Bon Jovi, I doubt that kids even know who Bon Jovi is. I don't think Maroon 5 is going to win. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a tie between Big Time Rush and One Direction because kids love, teenagers singing about girls and love and crap. So yeah, none of them should definitely win. In fact, I don't even know of any, big time music group that should win by that matter. So yeah, I have a really strong feeling that Big Time Rush is going to win. And we have male singer. Best male singer is going to be either Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars, Blake Shelton, or Usher. Okay, let's be honest. We all know who's going to win. Justin Bieber is going to win this one. As for Blake Shelton, come on, kids don't listen to country music. The only reason why they would know of Blake Shelton is because they watch The Voice. And Usher, he hasn't had any music recently as far as I know, and Bruno Mars, maybe he'll be nominated and winning. But yeah, definitely, Justin Bieber is going to win. No shit. As for favorite female singer, we have Adele, Katy Perry, Pink, and Taylor Swift. Alright. Let's just be out there. I definitely think that Adele's going to win. And Adele deserves to win out of the 4 nominations. Come on. She has she's a Grammy winner. She has her album was hugely popular. In fact, if you want to know an interesting thing, according to LuckyVoice.com, Someone Like You was nominated as the #1 favorite karaoke song. And, some of it, Adele's voice is really nice. She did the main theme song for Skyfall. And, yeah, I definitely think that she deserves to win. But, I don't know. I mean, do you think kids will even know about Adele? Maybe they do. But I think that out of all of them, maybe it'll be either between Katy Perry or Taylor Swift. Probably, maybe Katy Perry will win, or maybe Taylor Swift. I think it's going to be either one of those women. So yeah, I think that I'm hoping that Adele would win, and I'm definitely hoping that the kids will vote for her. So I think Adele's gonna win, and she definitely deserves to win. Now we come into the final nomination, favorite song. And the songs are Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen, Gangnam Style by Psy, We Are Never Getting Together Again by Taylor Swift, and What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction. Okay. It's either going to be one of two, Call Me Maybe or What Makes You Beautiful, because Gangnam Style is so 15 minutes ago. Everybody's doing the Harlem dance because, as opposed to just doing like a complicated dance by some Asian guy, we're just going to have some rap song in which all you have to do is just move your arms back and forth. Yeah, that's the popular dance, ladies and gentlemen. We're Never Getting Together Again. Once again, Taylor Swift always sings the same songs. It's either about, oh, I met a boy, but he's falling in love with another girl. That girl that he's falling in love with should have been me. Or, I love this boy, but this boy broke up with me. I'm going to write a song about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, and not to mention that Call Me Maybe happens to be the second most popular karaoke song of 2012, according to LuckyVoice.com. So, out of all these songs, none of them should have won. Anything by maybe Adele or Pink or, you know, maybe some other singer would have definitely been it. But, you know, this is the Kids Choice Awards. You know, when has quality came to be? I'm going to say that, you know, since this is the final nomination, I'm thinking maybe What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction is going to win. You know, it's a toss-up between one of the two. You know, who's going to be voting more, the boys or the girls? You know, to tell you the truth, it's a girl kind of thing. This is a girl-girl situation, and girls, they like boy bands nowadays. But then again, it's always been that way. And Call Me Maybe, you know, it'll be probably good for the teenage girls, but when it comes to the preteens, they'll definitely go for One Direction. So I'm thinking that One Direction is going to win for favorite song. Yeah, and that should be it for the Old School Lane Kids Choice Awards predictions. Tune in tomorrow as we're going to be talking about the winners. We're going to talk about the entire Kids Choice Awards as a whole, what changes we want to see, and so on and so forth. Until then, I've been Patricia from Old School Lane, and that was Kevin from Old School Lane, who had to leave in short notice. So I'm hoping to catch you around tomorrow. Take care.